Hello everybody and welcome to a Star Wars video. Yes, today I'm making a Star Wars video because Star Wars is, if you didn't know, one of my favorite things. I probably like it more than Assassin's Creed. I have a Last Jedi poster to my side, but I don't really like the movie. We got the poster when we bought our tickets before we saw the movie, and it's a good looking poster, but in my opinion, a bad movie. But anyways, I'm also wearing Star Wars socks. I watched The Mandalorian. I have a Baby Yoda, or, well, spoilers, I have a Grogu. And I also have a chocolate advent calendar from The Mandalorian. There's just a few of the stuff. I have Star Wars and all of that. And I just really love The Mandalorian and Star Wars in general. So I wanted to be talking about the new stuff that just came out from Lucasfilm, because this is huge, probably the biggest news in the past 10 years of Star Wars. We have 2 movies, and we have 9 shows that are going to be coming out. We have the Rogue Squadron movie, the untitled Taika Waititi movie, which he has been directing a couple of the episodes of The Mandalorian, and he voiced IG-11. The Obi-Wan show that with Ewan McGregor and with Hayden Christensen. The Ahsoka show, Rangers of the New Republic, Lando, Andor, The Acolyte, Bad Batch, Visions, and a droid story. So those are all of the Star Wars things that were just announced, and this video is going to be talking about the games for Star Wars, because as you know, Battlefront 2 support was cut in order to make Battlefield 6, which I don't really support. And I think that EA really screwed up by choosing to cut off support for the game, considering it was growing, and the game has also been growing ever since support was cut. The player base has still been growing and growing like crazy. That is partially due to the new Game Passes and stuff, it being added to PlayStation and Xbox's Game Passes, which grew the player base significantly. The PC player base is always going to stay pretty high comparative to the consoles, because we have modding and all of that, which I've done some mods myself, but I don't use any currently. And I think that Battlefront 2 will definitely be able to go strong at least until 2022, and EA's Star Wars license ends in, I believe, 2023. But I do think that because Battlefront 2 is able to be salvaged a little bit, that we're going to be getting an extension to EA's Star Wars license through another, I believe, 10 years, so to 2033, which will be more than enough time to cover all of these movies and the TV shows. And so I think that we're going to be getting some Star Wars content in terms of games and comics and all of that relating to these movies and TV shows. But I do think that we will either A, not get a Battlefront 3, or B, we will get a Battlefront 3, and it will be a bit of a weird game. And whenever I say a weird game, I'm going to get into that now. So I think if we get a Battlefront 3, it would be a combination of all of the content that I just said. Well, not all of it, but most of it. So we would get like Obi-Wan content, we would get Ahsoka content. Obviously, Ahsoka would be in the game finally. We would get some Rogue Squadron content, some Rangers of the New Republic content, Lando, on and on and on. But I think that it's going to be separate in terms of like a DLCs or something. I don't think that they're just going to throw everything in together. And I think we'll also get some Mandalorian content if they're going to be making a Battlefront 3. But I think that it's unlikely that we're going to get all of those things put together, because I don't think that it would make for a great coherent game. I think it would be all over the place if there's so many different things in terms of content in the game, where we have all of these TV shows and movies and you just throw content together instead of keeping one clear line of like the original trilogy, the prequels, the sequels, and then maybe a little bit of outside content like how we had Rogue One content. Maybe we can have Mandalorian content, but I don't think we should have content for every single movie and TV show in Battlefront 3, which I think if we do get a Battlefront 3, then I think it won't come until like a 2024 or 25. I think it will be after the extension of EA Star Wars license. I'm going to make the assumption that there's not going to be another Battlefront game within the next few years before their license runs out, considering they have most, if not all, of the developers from DICE and EA in general working on Battlefield 6. So I think that they're going to be focusing on Battlefield, then they're going to move back to Star Wars. But I think that they are confident that they're going to get the license renewed, because they're not making a game right now in order to push out another Battlefront game or just another Star Wars game in general, besides Jedi Fallen Order 2. So that's just my thoughts. I think that if we do get a game, like I said, it's going to be coming out after they get their license renewed. I think if it comes to like the deadline, I think there's going to be a huge announcement that, oh, EA got their Star Wars license renewed, and oh, Battlefront 3 has been announced, and all these other games are being announced. So I think that's what's going to happen, in my opinion. But I also think that there is a low chance of getting a Battlefront 3 unless the content is extremely similar to Battlefront 2. So whenever I say that, I mean we're going to get original trilogy, prequel, and sequel content, and then we're going to get maybe a little bit of stuff from the new shows and movies. So I think it's not going to be very inclusive of those shows and movies. I think we're going to get separate games for those shows and movies. So we might get like a Bad Batch game. We might get a separate Ahsoka game, which I think, if anything, they're going to include Ahsoka into a Battlefront 3, but who knows. I do think there's going to probably be an Acolyte game, considering it's a completely different time period. I think we are going to get a Rogue Squadron game, a Visions comic probably. I think we're going to get a Lando game, possibly, Rangers of the New Republic game, on and on and on. I think those are going to be smaller games, and then I think if we do get a Battlefront 3, then it's going to be pretty much similar to what we have for Battlefront 2, but they're just going to make sure that they don't screw up like they did last time. But that's really all I have for this video. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think there's going to be a Battlefront 3? And if so, do you think it's going to be recent? Do you think it's going to be 4 or 5 years in the future, like what I believe? Or do you think there's not going to be a Battlefront 3? What do you think they're going to do in terms of games and comics and books, in terms of the new movies and TV shows that were announced? Do you think any of these are going to be canceled? Because who knows? Some of them could be canceled even though they're announced. That's just my thought, because we're still a ways off from any of these being released, so anything could happen in the future. So with that said, that's really it for this video. Like I said, I want to know what you guys think. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you made it to this point. I'll see you in the next video.